If you can't pay me $600,000 over asking price, I'm selling to BlackRock.
If you didn't buy Starbucks last year, you could have bought my asbestos-ridden condo for $1.6 million.
Please, I work 3 jobs. Is there any way I make enough to buy a home?
I told you, get the out of my office.
Nobody wants to hustle anymore. Back in my day, I babysat twice and bought a lakefront cabin, 2 jet skis, and a riding lawnmower, all cash.
I'm taking your home and making my 9th Airbnb rental. I'm going to squeeze this new family for every penny.
So basically, I like to give out little tips about how to use your credit cards as efficiently as possible in order to maintain your FICO score or in order to build your FICO score. But again, the major rule is you don't buy anything unless you can afford to actually pay for it. So here you are looking at my Barclays Xbox Mastercard. And I think I showed you when I actually bought it and when I got it in the mail. It's a cute little card. It has the Xbox logo and everything on it. And I basically use it annually in order to pay for my Xbox Live service. So usually they charge me and then I pay it right back. Now, as you can see, the balance on that card alone is $10,000. And today I was looking in my email and they had a new offer, and they had one offer for balance transfers. Like if you had high APR balance you wanted to transfer. I consider those a trap because chances are if you have high APR balances somewhere else and you're having to shift them around, chances are what's really happening is you can't afford to pay the balance off. And because you can't afford to pay the balance off, you're just trying to shift it around. And chances are that will explode in your face eventually, because what they may end up doing is cutting off your available credit. You don't want that. So this card has a $10,000 total available credit, right? So what they're offering is 0% APR. And that means that if you pay off whatever you spend, whatever the balance is, whatever it is you spend, if you pay it off before November 1st, 2026, you will pay 0% interest. So that's 0% APR for basically 1 year. And this is how I like to purchase things. Now, I'm thinking right now about using this card in order to purchase my business class vacation to Vietnam and to Cambodia. And what I was also thinking was that if I fly to Vietnam business class, I'm not sure which airline I'm going to use. I'm going to look around for the best deals. But the thing about it is, if you fly from Vietnam to Cambodia, yeah, it only takes about 2 hours. But the problem is that's another $1,500 because that's a business class flight. So that's $1,500 round trip. I could save $1,500 by taking one of those luxury buses instead, since there is no direct rail access from Vietnam to Cambodia. We're talking about Ho Chi Minh City to Phnom Penh. So what I'm considering is whether or not I want to spend the extra money to fly business class from Cambodia to Vietnam and back and forth, or whether or not I would like to just take the bus so this way I can actually see the countryside. Supposedly it's like a 4 to 5 hour, maybe even up to 7 hour bus ride if they stop during the tour. Not sure. But the reason why I mentioned this credit card is because this gives you 0% interest for an entire year. And because it gives you 0% interest for an entire year, all you have to do is make sure you either have the money to pay it back immediately, or that you can make that money within 12 months of actually spending it so that you can pay it back to avoid all interest. Now, I have the money. What I'm looking for is to figure out the best way to get as many rewards or points back as possible. So I'm definitely looking into this. And again, as for my next computer purchase, I want to get as many rewards or whatever as I can on that. So I'm thinking about probably using Dell's financing in order to get 0% APR on my Area 51 Alienware computer. And I'm going to get the top spec model that they have with the 5090, 4 terabytes of storage, and 64 gigabytes of RAM, so that this way, you know, when the new games like Grand Theft Auto 6 and Battlefield 6 are out and everything, I'll have a monster able to play them all, right? The only other heavy expense that I was thinking about besides this vacation and besides that computer are iPhone 17. Now, I have no idea what that's going to cost, but I'm probably going to use my Apple Card to buy that since you get about 3% off. But it's not really going to matter because, yeah, I'll get the 3% off, but I'm going to pay it in cash as soon as I buy it, so this way I don't have to pay any interest on it. Now, since I share so much information, when I went to Bali, I showed you that what I did was I used a brand new credit card to go to Bali so that I wouldn't pay any interest whatsoever and I could finance the entire trip. That trip ended up costing me about $12,000 for everything. It wasn't just the flight and it wasn't just the hotel stays. It wasn't just the flight to Singapore and the hotel stay in Singapore. I also bought a brand new wardrobe while I was over there. I bought a couple of different suits and a couple of different tuxedos. Everything was tailor cut to fit. And paid for everything on my credit card. And it was 0% interest because I refuse to pay interest when I can avoid it. 0% interest for everything. And I paid all that $12,000 back before I even basically went on the trip. The extra expenses that I spent on the trip, I paid that back while I was on the trip because I was getting my YouTube checks, and that was July and whatnot. So I used that to apply that directly towards the expense. So as you can see, Wells Fargo has a couple of cards that have $0 annual fees. One is this Active Cash card. You can go to their website. You can see it yourself. And the Active Cash card, as you can see, $0 annual fee. That's something I like. I don't like paying an annual fee. It says rewards, unlimited 2% cash rewards on all purchases. Typically, when you use a credit card, if they have a typical offer and you're not paying annual fee, usually the rewards or cash back will not exceed 2%. Anybody who does exceed 2%, chances are you're paying a very high annual fee. Like if you're using an Amex Black card or a Centurion, or if you're using a Mastercard Black or something like that. As you can see with them, it says APR is 0% intro APR for 12 months from account opening on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. So that means that if you get this card and you need to buy something, like let's say you need to get appliances or something, you'll have 12 months from opening this account to pay back whatever you spend. That's exactly what I did when I financed the trip to Bali. What I did was I put the flights on the card, I put the hotel stays on the card, and then I paid it off. And this way I got cash back, and I also used the cash back in order to pay towards the card so that I avoided paying interest altogether. This was the card, I believe, this is one of those cards, but this isn't the one I got. This is Autograph Journey. I actually got the Autograph Visa card. If you look back at the videos that I made, the Autograph Visa has 0 APR. And then it says rewards are unlimited 3x points on restaurants, travel, gas stations, transit, popular streaming services, and phone plans. 1x points on other purchases. I paid 0 annual fee, and that's the reason why the rewards are less than they would be if you got the Autograph Journey. That's pretty much how they get you. They're trying to lock you into a subscription for a $95 fee. I'm not paying anybody annual fees, and I'm not paying anybody interest. And once you get that mindset where you avoid interest and you avoid annual fees, that's when you can really start building an 850 credit score like I got. So anyway, it says APR is 0% intro APR for 12 months. So they're only giving you 12 months from the day that you open this card to pay back the entire balance. Now, up here with this Autograph Journey, it says earn 60,000 points when you spend $4,000. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much the deal that I got. 60,000 bonus points. If you get rid of the last 2 zeros, it comes out to $600. I took the $600 back that I got, and I used that to pay towards the balance of the flights and the trip that I had bought. So this way, just taking out this card was basically helping to pay for the trip itself. And once you understand that concept of using their rewards against them, it all makes sense. My problem is I got this deal down here with a 0% annual fee. They're charging $95 to get that exact same deal. So that means that you're actually minus $100 because you got to pay the annual fee. I paid no annual fee and I got that exact same bonus. Right here, what they did was they swapped the bonuses over time. So, a lot's changed in a year. And then it says earn 20,000 bonus points when you spend $1,000 in purchases within the first 3 months. So 20,000 bonus points is basically, you get rid of those last two zeros. That's basically $200. I got $600. So as you can see, I beat the system. And that's when you study this well enough, you learn how to beat the system. And that's what it's all about. So as far as APR, I was winning with the autograph card. Now, my autograph card is sitting in my safe. It's not doing anything. And I'm using my Barclays card this time around in order to go on vacation. This Reflect card is yet another card, because what you got to understand is if you really don't have many credit cards, or if you've paid off all your credit cards, one thing you got to understand is if you don't take out credit, then your credit score will actually go down, because what you're doing is you're not proving to the bank that you can be trusted to borrow money. Even buying a used car with a used car loan or buying a new car with a new car loan is taking out a new type of credit and showing the bank that if they give you a car loan, that they can trust you to pay it back. That's why you can't make any late payments, and you have to eventually pay it off during the schedule that they've given you, the amortization schedule. This Reflect card right here is one other option. Annual fee is 0, so automatically I like that. But as you can see, it's not really offering anything special, except for they're offering you 21 months from account opening on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. After that 21 months, you start to pay interest on what you borrowed. But if you can pay off that balance in 21 months, and that's a long time if you really think about it, that's more than a year. Whatever the balance is, if you pay it off in 21 months, you pay 0% interest. So basically, you get to use the card for free because there's no annual fee. So this other card that they have right here, the Attune card, they're offering 0%, or I should say $0 annual fee, but this one is for like gym memberships, salon, spas, and sports recreation and stuff. So they'll give you cash rewards, 4% on that. Me personally, I don't feel comfortable, unless you're the type of person who's constantly doing these things. This is a card I probably wouldn't take out. I would much rather take out the Reflect card, because if, like, for instance, if I got that Reflect card right now, today, I could call up my travel agent, I could charge up my trip for summer 2026, and I could also buy my Alienware computer on that card, and I have 21 months to pay it off, which is more than enough time, because I would probably pay it off almost immediately, but I'm trying to suck up rewards. So the Attune card really doesn't interest me, and their offer is just $100 in cash rewards bonuses. But that's only if you spend $500 in purchases in the first 3 months. They want you to get the card, and they want you to use it immediately. This next card they have, Built Mastercard. This one is one of those cards that they've designed for people to pay rent. Now, if you're in a situation where you're allowed to pay rent with your credit card, because there's been a couple of systems that have been made to try to pay rent and mortgages. Now, if you're in that type of situation where you can use a credit card, because most renters, most mortgage companies, they don't allow you to pay on a credit card, because they, as far as they're concerned, they don't want to deal with that, and they don't want to deal with the fee. So anyway, they're saying the rewards 1x points on rent payments without the transaction fee. That's up to 100,000 points. So each calendar year, 2x points on travel, 3x points on dining. Annual fee is 0. It says rent day. Earn double points on the first month of each month, excluding rent. Up to 1,000 bonus points, excluding rent. So yeah, as you can see, they've got their own little tricks going on here. Now, this card might work out for some people. I like the fact that there's 0 annual fee. But what I don't, this is not the type of card that you use to finance something, because they're not offering you 12 months and they're not offering you 21 months to do that financing. I got one of these in the mail the other day. It's called Key, One Key card. And I got the offer in the mail, And I basically put it in the trash because I was determined not to open up another credit card in order to do my financing this year. But they're saying that the zero annual fee, and it's saying that it's flexible rewards for Expedia, Hotels.com, and Vibro. So this is a travel card, basically. But I already have Capital One Venture, and I've got almost $2,000 built up in rewards points on that card. So it makes more sense for me to just keep using that card. It says earn $300 in one key cash after you spend $1,000 on purchase in the first 3 months. So they basically want you to get this, and they want you to book a vacation on it, basically. It says 3% one key cash on Expedia, Hotels.com, and Vrbo. It says 3% at gas stations, grocery stores, and on dining. 1.5% on other purchases. So typically, again, if you're paying zero annual fee, usually you're going to find between 1 and 2% on most purchases. But in this case, they want you to specifically focus on travel. So they want to focus on hotels, and they want to focus on, if you travel using, gas stations, road tripping, grocery stores, and dining on the road and whatnot. So, this could work for certain people, but I already have a travel card, and that's the Capital One Venture card. Now, this one is the same thing, except this one has a $99 annual fee. So what they're basically trying to do is offer you slightly more by trying to lock you into this subscription for $99. So it says earn $400 in one key cash, but this one was only earn $300. After you spend $3,000, this one was only $1,000. It says rewards 3%, 3%, 1.5. This one's 3%, 3%, and 2. So they're only giving you 2% on other purchases. In my opinion, the jump from 1.5 to 2 is not worth $90-something a year. It's just not worth it. It's better to just stick with this. The $0. I don't want to pay an annual fee. So right away, I would strike this out. $99 not worth it to me. Now, if you have a business or something, yeah, maybe it's worth it to you, but I wouldn't do that. Then what they're doing, as you can see, they're trying to offer another card here. Choice privileges Mastercard earn rewards with everyday spending and more points per stay. So they're trying to get you to be able to use a credit card every single day. And again, you have this choice spending, but then you have the other one that has the annual fee. So you have choice privileges, but this one is the select, and that one's not. So $0 annual fee, $95 fee. So right away, I'm saying, no, forget that one, because I wouldn't pay them an annual fee. I'm not doing it. This one says you earn 60,000 bonus points when you spend $1,000 in purchases in the first 3 months, enough to redeem for up to 7 rewards nights at select hotels. So once again, this is a travel card. It says 5x points on stays at these select places, choice hotels. And that's another thing. I never, ever, ever like cards that lock you into a specific service. I don't want a Delta card. I don't want an American Express card. I don't want a United. I don't like flying with them. So the bottom line is I want a card that's universal. I want something that I can use wherever I choose to go, even the places that I didn't expect I would go. I don't want to be locked into having your hotels or your aircraft. I don't want to do that. So this one says we're going to double the points on stays to 10x. We're going to make this, instead of 3x, we got 5x right there, 5x points at gas stations, grocery stores, home improvement. This one is 1x on everything else, and they want you to pay $95 for that. Now, I will say this. The only time that these annual fee cards, especially American Express Business, the only time those cards to me make sense is if your business pays for them. If your business can use that $500 or $600 annual fee, or even this $100 annual fee, if your business can pay that off or use that as a tax write-off, then it makes sense because technically you're not really paying for it if you can write it off. A lot of people can't do that. So they pay for these cards because they think that it's a flex or they think it's cute or whatever. I'm not willing to do that unless I linked it to the business and the business paid it off. I have my own business use credit card. I have a card I don't even talk about it. It's an Amex Centurion for business use. And the problem is you have to spend $250,000 a year. You're locked into spending that much. And if you don't spend that much, you lose it. We have a corporate American Express card, just like I have a corporate Costco membership and I have a corporate BJ's membership, executive membership or whatever. And they can be nice because if you're buying a car or something, you can get like $1,000 off on a Cadillac or something like that. Or right now they're trying to sell an Ineos Grenadier or whatever, Grenadier. But I'm not really interested in that right now. They have a number of other cards, but right now this is pretty much the last one that's on the list. This is Signify. This is a business card, specifically boosting business purchasing power. It says $500 cash rewards when you spend $5,000. So as you can see, the purchase amount that you have to spend goes up because they expect that if you have a business that you're really going to spend $5,000 a month or more. So for small businesses, yeah, this might make sense. But even small businesses can fall deep into credit card debt. And it can almost, in some cases, be undischargeable. So you got to be very careful with this. One thing they also offer is 0% intro APR for 12 months from account opening on your purchases. So that means if you had to buy equipment for your business, like if you got to buy a cash register, if you got to buy a printer, a photocopy machine or something like that, yes, this can be nice. It has a $0 annual fee. So this is not up there with the American Express card, but at least you don't have to worry about an annual fee and there is no demand that you spend a certain amount of money like there is on our card. So the last thing, 0% APR for 1 year, that's not bad. That's not bad. But again, that kind of card is not for me. I don't want, first of all, you shouldn't buy things in cash if you can avoid it. You should buy on credit cards, get the rewards, and then pay it immediately back in cash. And once you have that kind of discipline, that's how you can grow your credit like I did. So right here on Wells Fargo's website, all I got to do is click View My Credit Score. And basically, boom, there you go. 850, exceptional. That's my credit score. And that's how I keep it nice and healthy, by using the tips and tactics that I just gave you. Now, you've probably seen me come and check this before, but it's not easy to maintain a perfect 850 credit score, because if you go back in my history, it dropped about 10 points last year when I opened up new accounts and everything, because your credit does drop if you open up new accounts. So as you can see, the payment history is exceptional. I have 0 late payments, 0 public records. You have to make sure you keep that up. So if you have any creditors or you have anybody coming after you for bills, you got to pay them. Current debts, exceptional. No debt. Now, it does say that I have 1% credit usage, but you have to remember, I use my credit card every single day. So it says 1% credit card usage, 3 accounts that currently have balances, which I think they're talking about my houses and my car. But it says my daily revolving credit is $8, and that's what you're looking at. Some people, they buy stupid shit like Gucci, Prada, Femi. They buy fucking Gucci belts. They buy stupid shit, Tory Burch bags. I'll never understand these people. Maybe they want to go into debt. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I pay off my card every single night. And in order to make sure that your credit score is as high as possible, it comes down to making sure that you pay on time and that you do not keep revolving balances. High revolving balance, like if you're carrying month to month $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, the bank says, wait a minute, this person can't afford to pay us back that $10,000. So we got to be careful with this person. But when you're the type of person like me and you maintain less than $100 as a rotating balance, the bank is like, oh yeah, give him as much money as we can give him. No problem. He's a good guy. Credit history. My credit history, it says 15% of your overall score is how long you've kept your accounts open. It says my oldest account or average account is 10 years, but it says the oldest account is 23 years, 1 month. So I've had credit for 23 years, basically since I turned 20. And by the way, just in case you go to college and you fuck up your credit like I did, because I always tell the story, when I was in college, man, I had a credit card. I was spending on that thing. I was buying lots of toys, electronic devices, all types of stuff. And my credit score was like a 530 coming out of college. I had really bad credit when I came out of college. And Discover sued my ass $5,000, and I just threw all the letters in the garbage. I didn't pay it any attention, but they garnished me, and out of my paycheck, I had to pay 10% every single month to pay off that $5,000 judgment that they had against me. I didn't close the account; they closed it for me. But the bottom line is, my credit dates back 23 years, and between my real estate, my car loans, nothing has been late, not a single lateness, but you can see that yourself. Then it says new credit card applications. Now, this is what I was talking about. I didn't want to open up a new credit card. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, should I open up a new credit card or not? I was like, nah, you know what? I don't want to open up a new credit card. It said the newest account that I made was about 1 year and 7 months ago. That's pretty much the account that I opened up in order to get that Wells Fargo autograph card in order to finance my trip to Bali and to Singapore business class on ANA. So as you can see, it says recent inquiries are 0. And, that's because I haven't done anything else with credit. But understand, these inquiries, they can come in many different ways. You could get, if you have to get surgery or something, you can get a medical inquiry on your credit. You can get an inquiry on your credit by going to a different insurance company. You can get an inquiry on your credit by going to the store and you got to buy a new boiler or a washing machine or a dryer, and you decide to take out Home Depot's 12 months 0% financing. Like, for instance, I want to buy that Dell computer I was talking about, because right here I have the Alienware Area 51, as you can see, but I have the older model of it, and I want to get the new Area 51, and I'm gonna get it. But these computers are fucking expensive. The new one, they want $5,000 for that thing, and I think that's before tax. They want $5,000. So I think with tax it's like $5,300 or something. So the issue ultimately is, if I get the Dell financing, it would give me like 12 months or 24 months or something without having to pay interest. The problem is it goes down as an inquiry. Now, right now, as you can see, I have 0 inquiries. Typically, 2 is allowed every like 2 years or something. I think 1 inquiry a year is okay. But if I do that with Dell, oh yeah, I'll take out their financing to get the rewards points and then pay it back in cash. But even if I buy my iPhone 17 and I use my Apple Card, well, that won't be considered a new inquiry, but that will add to my, or will take away from my available credit. So, it's like a balancing game, and I'm really good with games like that. I'm really, really good with it. But I do it all in my mind, and I'm pretty good with it, as you can see. So, and the last thing is types of credit. So I have a bunch of different types of credit because I've got multiple properties. Now, I say this all the time. I say it all the time. Thank God for this ceiling fan right here. Got the ceiling fan. Now, most people, they can't even find a house to buy. So for them, getting a ceiling fan and having a house to put it in is not easy, because they've created a really bad situation where debt is like, people are drowning in debt. You got these freaking boomers holding on to their properties. They're not selling nothing. You got these people buying up properties, BlackRock, Chinese government, foreign, Russians and shit. Everybody's buying up our property. And now the average person can't afford to get a house because the house values, and you got to remember, I live in New York City and Long Island. So the issue ultimately is the house values are so high that people can't even get a house for a reasonable amount. But then on top of that, the interest rates are high as fuck. So I'm just thankful I got my ceiling fan up there, because someday somebody's going to try to take my ceiling fan. And that's when the Desert Eagle comes out, because the Desert Eagle 50 caliber don't play. You ain't taking my ceiling fan. It's just that simple. So 13 revolving accounts, 10 installment loans. But all that stuff is old because, as you can see, I have virtually no revolving balance. So all those installment loans were probably car loans that I had, because, as you know, I've had shit within the last 6 or 7 years. I've had like 5 cars or something. But all of that stuff is part of the credit history, so I ain't even worried about it. It doesn't really matter. But what you need to do, you're trying to build your credit. Chances are you're trying to build your credit or you're trying to improve your credit because you're trying to buy a house. And if it's not that, chances are you might be trying to buy either a house or a car or something else like that. But in order for you to get here, this is a balancing game. And once you understand how this game is played, it's very, very simple. The rules are simple. Number one, you have to make all your payments on time. Number two, you don't buy anything that you can't afford to pay immediately in cash. Number three, you do not run revolving balances. Number four, you do your best not to make multiple credit inquiries within 1 year. You don't want more than two. And then the last thing, you do not close your accounts. You have to keep them open as long as possible. Sometimes that might mean you have to use a card that you didn't want to have to use. But the bottom line is it's all part of the game. And if you intend on building up your credit, you're going to have to play the game because they are, and you're just going to have to match them move for move.
I'm never drinking a Frappuccino again.
This morning I woke up and my student loan debt is gone.
Here's your bill, sir. Here, keep the change.
We just outbid BlackRock on a single-family home.
I can't believe I used to think inflation was real.
Who would have thought childcare was so affordable?
No, I'm not fronting you another billion. Fuck you, Starbucks.
To be continued.